Hello, everybody. And what we are going to be doing today is I'm going to be pulling some cards, but pulling them more so for myself and giving you a chance to decipher if they match up with your day as well. But what I'm going to be doing also is talking. I'm going to be talking. And the subject matter is about astro travel and different things like that. I think that I'm going to change the channel more so geared towards that. The things that we experience every day, such as dreams, but they are not dreams. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that. So I hope you stay along for the ride and enjoy. So, I wonder, did most of you know that when you actually hear thoughts in your mind as your own, you're actually matching up with someone else that's in a nearby planet or even on this planet that aligns with what you are going through at that time? Yeah, that's what I have discovered. I'm just going to pull three and write my notes to the side as I talk. I'm going to multitask with each of you. What I do more so is just hone in on the pictures, the colors, the vibe of what's going on with my day, and just whatever comes to me, I usually just decipher it, just giving you guys a heads up on how I do my readings and different things like that. And if spirit has something to say, I usually consult that and follow my intuition to what that is if they are not verbalizing it. Okay, so back to the subject matter. So I actually had been in that situation, whereas I was like, I know a lot of the stuff that I'm thinking in my head is not necessarily based on some of the things that is going on in my life, especially when it comes to the fear, the worry, the anxiety. And what I had discovered is I had been connected with planetary bodies, meaning it was throughout other dimensions and even on the planet. It's those that actually relate to some of the situations, but I'm able to bypass some of the negative emotions, but they cling because of others. Others' negative emotions actually was clinging to me. And I'm wondering if some of you can relate to that. So it's not all the time that you can't handle your emotions in some of the situations. Sometimes it's others that actually cling to you and you can't shake them off. So those actual spell works and all that type of thing is really necessary for you to do, because it's all sorts of things that reside on the planet that you live on. And so when you are wondering, like myself, like, where did I get that from? Why would I be thinking that? And now it's like a circular motion in my head. I keep thinking of that thing and it's not helping me. It's actually hindering me. And when it comes to things like that, I'm telling you, what you are doing, you are literally remote traveling without being able to see. You are not able to see all the places and people and even the street that you may be on at that time. and you are in a real tangible location with your thoughts. Although you are trained, and just like me, you are trained to think that it's just homebound. It has nothing to do with the outside source when it comes to communication, and that is not true. You were born as a star. So if you were born as a star, the stars are in an open cosmos, therefore intertwined all around the world with others. And by that being the case, then when you think, you never think alone. Your thoughts was never alone. It was always a combination to the other planetary bodies and the actual people on the planet that you do reside. It was always like that. You were a traveler, and some of your traveler activities got slowed down to you thinking that, hey, I was once upon a time a baby. I was once upon a time a little kid. I was once upon a time this or that. My mother said I'm this. My father said I'm that. But before you were a baby, before you was a little kid, before you was a little boy or girl, you were a traveler in the cosmos. I'm just going to say that I know that about you. That's what I'm going to say. And one of the things that you do is remote travel in your thoughts. You never stay bound. That light inside of you is not bound by the actual carbon and matter. It actually moves around. It moves around. It's not stagnant. And so it's a good thing that you know that, so you can watch out for the things and the conversations that you engage in your mental space and feed. You are feeding another live individual that's sucking the life from you from a distance. They can actually do that as well. So it's not just a thought form that's not real. No, it comes with a real, tangible, touchable location. That's why they have this thing called astro travel, where someone you can meet up in that space. I call that space just one landmass. That's what I call it. If you can meet up with it with your physical mental space, and sometimes it feels as though it's real, then hey, and you know that person that you're meeting up with is real too. So hey, it's a tangible space. What you have actually just done in that case when you do so-called astro travel is that you just took less of your particles with you at the time, and the rest of it is left on the bed. But give it a minute and you might have your full body in that actual space that they call astro travel. I told you guys it's going to get pretty deep. So that's the direction that I'm definitely taking the channel, talking about all sorts of things when it comes to dreams, astro travel. I'm going to hit the mat soon as you close your eyes. What does that mean? I'm going to break down the stages and everything else in the following video. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm doing a little bit more than thinking because I'm putting it into action. And on another subject matter, but it relates, I had been taking some time to really just think about what I wanted to do. I did. And I was molding over, should I do my channel like this? Should I just even give up on it? That's where my mind was. Should I just give up on the actual YouTube thing and stuff like that? But it was more so of, I measured what was my thoughts versus the planetary bodies and all the other things that was swarming around versus me, versus mine. And I had to get and literally come to myself and make that decision on my own. And I see what my decision was. I decided to go forth with it and see where it goes. Because sometimes, like I said, those negative thoughts may not be your negative thoughts. It may be someone in close connection to you that's experiencing the same situation. And what they wouldn't do, they're putting it off on you from a distance. And now you're making a decision based on you thinking that it's you that's making that decision, when in fact it was others that was touchable, tangible, and tangibly involved in your decision making. So it's always good to check in on yourself. And what I actually just decided to do is just take it another route, give it another chance. Let's see how this goes. And I know that when I used to make the YouTube videos, I really did like it. I enjoyed it. It was pleasurable. But then after a while, when personal things start to happen and spirit and gods and all this other stuff come crashing in your life and kind of move you around, it kind of shakes you up, especially with all the compounded information. And sometimes you just need a break. And that's what I was on, some sort of what I would call a sabbatical. It's just time for me to figure out, what am I doing on this planet? What direction do I want to take it? You know, even devising, getting away from some of the family member, you know, separating them from the real from the fake, who was there for me and who's not there for me, and learning when to pull the plug. And that's what's been going on. And I didn't think that I was going to put all that in the audio. Look, I said the audio, but that's what I've been doing too, making personal audios for myself. But I didn't know that I was going to put it in the video. But hey, I'm making my own decisions, and my decisions is to share, to be open. And that's how I always have been on this channel, open. And that's the freedom of it, not to feel judged about anything, just be myself. And that's what I love about those that continue to follow me. I was always able to be myself, never felt judged. And that's the most beautifulest thing you can find on what is called a social network, because you can't find that, and you definitely can't find it when you're in close proximity to some people. Some people are just don't have time. They may be rude and everything else, but I'm going to say I have the best followers in the world. And even when I do go on sabbaticals, they're still here. And I just want to thank you guys just for continue to hanging on. So that's what I'll say. I kind of wonder what you guys are seeing in these cards. Personally, I know I'm seeing a couple of things, especially the tower. The tower actually tells me about that transition and different things that's going on with me. So, or that was going on with me. I'm trying to settle my things out. So I just, like I said, I'm just going on here and just doing what I want to do, and not let other things be a deciding factor for me. I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to find my own grounding with what I like and what I'm into. And I think that maybe it's a lot of that going around still. Maybe you need to find out what you're into, what you like, and just do it. Don't hesitate, just do it. And then sift out what are your thoughts versus someone else's. Because you are a traveler, and you definitely do not just stay earthbound. You are all over. You go all over the place and stuff like that. And sometimes that traveler body gets intertwined with things that it should not. And then you start to align with the wrong things. Now, if anyone can relate, definitely comment. I'm looking forward to those comments. Like I said, I missed you guys. I did. And I know I put up a couple of videos and different things like that. But just like breaking it down, getting personal and stuff like that, I wasn't doing that, and I hadn't did it in a while. And I was just geared towards just sharing. And I kind of like what I did, and I'm happy that I actually made the video to share with some of you. And please leave the comments. I want to read the comments, so do that. As usual, I do have a Cash App, LaSonia L, and of course, I still do offer all occult services, readings, rituals, all that good stuff, because it is needed. It's always needed. I don't know what I would do here if I didn't have some type of spiritual factor to fight off all the things that come my way. And that's what else you guys can put in the comment. How do you fight the spiritual things that go on that appear like it's mundane? What kind of spiritual tools do you use? I'm curious to see what you do, Because it's one thing, I guess I'll share this too. I don't care if I'm rambling, I'm just being myself. I used to say when it appeared like I was growing up and stuff like that, I don't know what people do without some type of spiritual clutch. I don't know. I don't know what someone that doesn't believe in something, what do you hang on to if you don't have God, if you don't have ancestors, if you don't have deity or any type of spiritual practice or work? How do you stay aligned? How do you survive in a world that needs it? I don't know how they do it because I'm not able to. I need some type of, like, for real, you guys, I need some type of spiritualness, some type of supernatural something to make it seem like it's more in this world than just the average and mundane, and I'm small. I need something to constantly let me know that I'm bigger than all the surmounted things that seem to try to crush me. And I know you guys can relate. I am truly looking forward to all those comments.